Hello, welcome and welcome back. My name is Zaria Ray Lee. If you haven't been here before, this is Pampered and Luxed. We are here today to do the day 7 of the Reset My Life 30-day journaling challenge. Okay, so we usually go ahead and get started off with our affirmations, appreciations, gratitudes to just set the mood, set the tone, let everybody know what energy we're coming in here with. And then we go ahead and jump into the daily journaling prompt. I want to go ahead and get you guys in and out so that you can go ahead and process the information you've given yourself today. Because next week is about to be really, we're going to start diving in even more using the journaling analysis process, the JAP. And that is a free resource as a digital resource. It's free that you guys can download and actually start using alongside me next week. So I'm really excited to start going through that whole process with you guys so you can understand that these journaling prompts aren't just random questions to ask yourself. Okay. Now that we're through that, let's go ahead and jump into the daily affirmation for today. Or do I feel like doing appreciation first? I like to just go with whatever's on my heart first. Okay. Um, yeah, I'd like to go with affirmation first. Sometimes you just have to breathe, let yourself feel, understand what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and then make the choice to go with that. Right? So that's what I was just doing. Okay. So today, for day 7 of the Reset My Life 30-day journaling challenge, my affirmation is I am able to discern and make aligned choices based on my version of successful life and a fulfilled self. Oh, I like that one. And I'm going to repeat all of them at the end just to give everyone a whole once over with it. So, my daily appreciation today, actually, let's move into gratitude next. I am thankful for the way I seize opportunity and cultivate change in my life. Okay. Boom. Okay. And now finally my daily appreciation. I'm definitely feeling I am proud of who I was, who I am, who I'm becoming, and who I've always been. Oh, these are really good and juicy today. I know this month's mantra at the end is going to be really impactful for me. So I'm definitely going to keep going with my daily appreciation statements. I want to go ahead and read you guys my affirmation, appreciation, and gratitude statements for day 7 of the Reset My Life 30-day challenge. And my affirmational statement for day 7 is I am able to discern and make aligned choices based on my version of successful life and a fulfilled self. Okay. My daily gratitude for day 7. I am thankful for the way I seize opportunity and cultivate change in my life. All right. Appreciation. I am proud of who I was, who I am, who I am becoming, and who I have always been. So that's really nice. I like those. That was some nice energy to get into before we even go ahead and jump into the journaling prompt. But now that we are, get your pen, get your paper ready. Here we go, because we're going to go ahead and do our journaling prompt for today. Now, I'm about to put it on the screen, but I really want you to say it out loud to yourself, or yes, out loud to yourself, not even in your head. Ask the question out loud to yourself 3 times in a row, just to make sure you really understand what we're about to do here and you're ready and prepared mentally, okay? And I'm just going to read it once while I give you guys some time to read it the 3 times and write it down. All right. So we have day 7's journaling prompt for the Reset My Life 30-day challenge, which is: what is a habit or behavior in others I find annoying or exasperating? Where in my life have I recently done the same behavior, habit, or action? Now, just take a moment to go ahead and write it down and read that back to yourself over again, so you can just really, it needs to soak in. Oh, the crickets are cricketing. All right, read it again. Read it again. And one last time, read it one more time. Okay, now, as I start to talk about the prompt, I'm sure a few of you are still writing, so definitely go ahead and take the time you need to write it down. And here we go. So, for me, I will say that this question is a two-parter. It's a two-part question, and you can't just answer one part and not the other, because they're both very, very necessary. And I also want you to start asking yourself why after the ends of these questions. After you answer your prompt, ask yourself, well, why do I think or feel or observe or understand something that way? Where did my original understanding start coming from? Because that'll also start to prep you for the deeper, more shadow work that happens when it comes to the journaling analysis process. All right. What is a habit or behavior in others I find annoying or exasperating? I'll go ahead and answer. Actually, I want to go ahead and say that this question is meant to show you what your limits of acceptance are, as well as your limits for change, your capacity for risk taking. So these are 3 different things that come when it comes down to it: capacity for change, capacity for risk, capacity for acceptance. Okay? And these are sorts of themes that reoccur throughout life. These are things that are just going to happen, and you have to learn how to utilize these empathetic tools. That's really what they are. Risk taking is an empathetic tool to understand, okay, logically something is going on, but emotionally I need to maybe dampen or heighten certain things so that I do or don't take certain risks. Change, being able to cope with and understand change is a very deeply emotional experience. Acceptance is oftentimes not what people think it is. So, we're also going to be diving into those three specific topics over the next 3 weeks to help you guys understand what resetting your life really means. Okay, it means taking some risks, making some acceptances that may be hard, that may be easy, and making some change. Okay, so we're going to be going over those in week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4, alongside the journaling analysis process. So definitely stay tuned with the live stream sessions because they are still going to be 30 minutes or less. I'm still trying to make sure they're 30 minutes or less, easily digestible, but we are going to be going over a lot of information that will be really helpful to you. Okay, now I'll go ahead and answer because I know you guys are like, answer your prompt, answer you, like what's your answer? So my answer for the first question: what is a habit or behavior in others I find annoying or exasperating? For me, one of those that's been really popping up recently, like really popping up, especially seeing it in myself, but we're just focusing on the first question, is making assumptions. Okay? Making assumptions. And assumptions come from your own experience with a certain place, a certain people, a certain environment or energy or thing. An assumption is just a perception that doesn't understand it's a perception and not the full truth. Let me back that up. An assumption is a lack of understanding around the objectiveness of a reality. There are some things that are objective, there are some things that are subjective. When you're making assumptions, you're applying your perception of the world onto everyone else, your perception of yourself, your perception of someone onto other people to make sense of what's going on and what's happening. So, the way that assumptions can kind of bring about sort of negative experiences, if that's why how you want to put it or how I want to put it, but the way that assumptions can do that is by denying that things or people change. Assumptions don't take the risk of finding out something new, breaking your brain in a sense, and learning a new perception of life, which can be really hard. It's a risk. You might not understand or recover the same way if you decide to stop making assumptions and stop putting your perceptions on others, because your perception is what you think all of everything is just supposed to be. And when an assumption is broken, your perception is broken. And your perception is, like I said, how you think everything works. So if how you think everything works is suddenly shattered, it's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. And an assumption is also the lack of willingness to accept that certain things are or aren't what they are or aren't. So that's how I start to show you guys that these recurring themes are recurring and how we're going to actually break them down every single day, one by one. Now, back to me answering my journaling prompt. Making assumptions is the habit that I see in others that I find annoying or exasperating. Like, bruh, ask a question, do some research, listen, just pause, hold on, just be patient. That's how I feel. So now that I've established that, I now go and read part 2 of the question. Where in my life have I recently done the same behavior, habit, or action? And in my life recently, especially what I've been noticing, I've been making a lot of assumptions about specific people that I may have known for a really long time. But over the years, we all change. We change how we think, we change what we do, we change how we look. Okay? Change is just, it's gonna happen. So instead of being patient, asking questions, re identifying with said people, instead of doing that, I just continue to make assumptions so that my perception of them can stay and hold true in my brain so that I'm more comfortable with what's going on instead of having to reevaluate what's going on and then being honest with myself and making acceptances around that person, whether that person is quote unquote good for me or bad for me. Like it doesn't matter. And none of that matters right now. What we're talking about is the assumptions, the lack of change, the lack of risk, and the lack of acceptance. Okay. Now, when it comes to asking why do I feel like assumptions are just like, why don't you just pause and slow down? I feel that way because I know that it's a lack of the other person genuinely actually seeing and experiencing me in the present moment. And the same goes for vice versa. I know that it's me not actually experiencing that person or what that experience as it is in that moment. Okay. So assumptions can be dangerous because they can allow you to stay in positions that you don't necessarily need to. They can allow you to not accept that a certain environment or people aren't aligned for you, right? Or assumptions can make it so that you don't accept when change is necessary. Assumptions are the dampeners of change. Assumptions really they take the change and they say, you know what, no, because I don't even want to see the change. The change isn't even possible. That's an assumption. That's a big assumption, especially because change is one of the only things that is always going to happen. Change, life. Wait, let me say that again. Change, life, death. Those are some of the really the only things that are always going to happen. It's always going to happen. Change, life, death. Okay? Those are always going to happen. So if your assumptions and your perceptions of reality start to make it so that you deny change, you deny things that actually are going to happen when those things happen, you have to rework your assumptions and figure out what's going on. And now you feel confused, you feel lost, you feel overwhelmed. And those aren't things that help us get anywhere. Those are feelings that really they show us what's going on with our environment and the fact that our environment may not be aligned to us, but the feelings themselves don't do anything other than show you what you're feeling. So the journaling prompts as a individuals can start to show you how to change and reset your life. And when we start to look at them as a grouping from day 1 to day 2 to day 3 to day 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way through 30, when we start to look at them in a group starting next week, so make sure you're still here tomorrow. Tomorrow's day 8. Starting next week, this is how we actually start to break down the reset of the life. What is actually being reset? How do we continue to reset? And what change are we really going for? What is that vision that we see for ourselves? And something that may help you if you feel like, oh, you know what, I'm not even sure what my vision of life is or where I even want to go. Definitely check out the Regain My Power 30-day journaling challenge. You can still take it for free. on the website pamperedandluxed.com, pamperedandluxed.com. You can check that out on there. Complete it like a little course one day at a time, or you can check the Instagram. All the prompts are there. Complete it one day at a time. But the Regain My Power 30-day challenge is set to help you regain power and focus on that vision of self. Understand who you are in your powerful being. Like, how do you actually embody the power that you have to create the vision that you're going for, and what is that vision? So that's how you can go ahead and figure that out. I would definitely suggest checking it out if that's something you're looking for. But otherwise, we're going to keep going with this reset challenge. If you've already taken the power challenge, great. We're on to another. Like, you don't understand how far you've come and what you've done for yourself, because it's a lot. It's a lot. And along with these three main themes, change, risk, acceptance, we're also going to be going over, like I said, the journal analysis process. And that is really if I gave it a short phrase, it's really how to shadow work. How to shadow work, and what does shadow work mean, and how to have it in sort of a process that actually works for you and isn't just looking within through stilled meditation, because that's not so easy for everybody. Not everybody can just get straight into apple crisscross applesauce, go sit out in the grass and close their eyes and then think for 2 hours, and all of a sudden they understand themselves. That's not everybody, which I understand. And I have been in moments where that was what worked for me. But I also realized I have moments where that hasn't worked for me. Really, what has always worked for me is journaling and being attentive with myself in that way, so that I can see my journey right there on the page, and then I can look up and see my present right here in front of me. And then when I close my eyes, I see my future. So that's how things work for me as of right now. And I'm just sharing my journey along with y'all. And if you have any questions, if you're like, wait, I understand the prompt, but like, can you tell me a little bit more about how it's going to help me? I definitely would love to answer those. Okay. So definitely drop any comments. I'll answer them. And that's all for today. Like I said, I'm trying to make sure I keep them short and sweet. The first journaling challenge, most of the videos were an hour long. It ranged from 45 minutes to an hour and a half, usually. And I think my lowest one was 15 or 30 minutes. But these I'm making sure are very digestible, very easily accessible, ready for y'all. So, with that being said, that was everything. That was everything for today. We're done for today. We're done. And just go ahead and finish your journaling prompt. If you want to leave a voice memo for yourself, a video diary, write it down, however you'd like to record it, just make sure you're doing your journaling challenge. Okay? Follow along with yourself, continue this commitment to yourself, and don't be afraid to revitalize the commitment with the prompt. So if you feel like, you know what, remember exactly what I was, oh, I'm trying to show y'all the wow, how did we switch? That's crazy. Okay. So if you are like, I need to remember why I'm taking this challenge, don't be afraid to go back to day one and say the pledge again. Okay? It's okay. I'm I'm trying to let it pull up. Don't be afraid to say the pledge again. Okay? And as a matter of fact, I can just say it for y'all because I wrote it down in my journal for a reason. So, since it's not popping up on the screen, and I want you to understand how simple and easy it is to revitalize your commitment to yourself. If you feel like, I don't know if I want to keep doing this for 3 more weeks, just pause and tell yourself the pledge for the Reset My Life 30-day journaling challenge. I pledge to spending the next 30 days resetting my life and preparing for transformation. I choose to curate and align with a life that fulfills me, nurtures me, and allows me to live my version of successful, happy living. For the next 30 days, I am developing new habits, beliefs, and reshaping myself to embody and be who I truly see and feel I am. Okay? Don't be afraid to go back. Don't be afraid to go back. And don't be afraid to pause and slow down. This is your challenge for you. Do it how you need to do it. But please, please, please slow down. Okay? Don't speed up. Slow down. Okay? All right. Thank you. I'll see you all tomorrow. And I hope that you're gaining as much as I'm gaining from just giving this challenge. So I, I'm really, really appreciative for all of you viewing and appreciative of myself for continuing to do this, whether I see the viewing or not. Thank you.